Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Around the Association. So, we now know that Kyrie Irving has ended up with the Dallas Mavericks. Him and Luka Doncic posed a very formidable duo in the backcourt for Dallas, and everyone's expecting once they get their chemistry together to really make some noise this season because of the level of talent they have, able to create for themselves and others. And having that being not able to cheat on Luka like you could have in the past. And also, we do know that Kevin Durant is with the Phoenix Suns now. He's actually in the Valley of the Suns, and the Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Chris Paul, they are expected when Kevin Durant comes back healthy to actually finish this season strong. Maybe go on a 8 to 10 game winning streak to kind of flip their position in the West. Now, one thing that's come up at NBA All-Star, and actually even before then, because Adam Silver actually spoke about it last summer when Kevin Durant made a trade request with the Brooklyn Nets, and he was freshly firm in a new deal and making trade demands, and so that's a scenario where I think Adam Silver has spoke about it and said it wasn't favorable. And now Kyrie, he made an in-season trade demand, and it's kind of odd because him and Kevin Durant really started to click before KD got hurt, and they were on everybody was like, oh boy, this is the Brooklyn Nets that everybody was afraid of, and then KD got hurt. And next thing you know, Kyrie's like, hey, I want out. And so Adam Silver was actually asked about these in-season, in the middle of or the beginning of your contract requesting trades. And this is what Adam Silver, NBA commissioner, had to say.
Well, that's very different than a so-called demand for a trade. I think that, in fact, Players Association has agreed with us in our current collective bargaining agreement. There are rules against making public trade demands. So that, and I've said that many times before, I think that's a bad thing. I think it's corrosive to the system. Certainly fans don't like it, and even lots of players don't like it as well, because ultimately they may be going to a particular team under belief that that player is still going to be there. So, and as my colleague Joe Dumars has pointed out to me many times, lots of players long time have behind the scenes asked for trades, but they haven't been accommodated because ultimately the teams have concluded that's not in their interest. So you want to find the right balance. You want, obviously, players to honor their contracts, and at the same time, a certain amount of player movement is good. So strongly against anything said publicly. I agree that a certain amount of player movement is good, but I think it has to be done in partnership and honoring those agreements that players and teams enter into.
So, that's Adam Silver. He feels like, hey, a certain amount of player movement is understandable, but he doesn't like the publicly requesting of trades mid-season. He thinks that gives the NBA kind of a black eye in regards to how the fans actually receive the game, the product. And so he's not really a big fan of it. Now, Kyrie Irving, who's never been afraid of sharing his opinion, had something to say in response in regards to those trade requests that he's making or that he's made. And take a listen to hear what Kyrie had to say.
What's a bad situation, and why doesn't anybody have the ability to ask for trades? That's my question. It's just, when did it become terrible to make great business decisions for yourself and your happiness and your peace of mind? Not every employer you're going to get along with. So if you have a chance to go somewhere else and you're doing it legally, then I don't think there's a problem with it. Again, the speculation and narratives is what makes this entertainment kind of seem a little bit more important or more priority than it actually is. Like, it's my life. It's not just a dream that everybody can gossip about. I take it very serious, and most of the work that I do doesn't get seen, so I don't know if it'll ever be truly appreciated, but all in all, when you work as hard as I do or anyone else at a specific profession, I feel like you should have the liberty and the freedom to go where you're wanted, where you're celebrated, and where you feel comfortable. So I wouldn't say any of my situations were bad. I just think they were lessons in growing within the business of the NBA and learning that every organization is different. You guys make group, I don't want to say you guys, I think people make group all of the NBA teams as one general group, but it's individual organizations that are run completely different. And you got to honor that. And you got to do research on who's actually running the teams. So that's what I've learned most as a young man coming into this business is I got to have a professional side as well and not just worry about my talent all the time.
So that's, Kyrie take in regards to it. He's like, look, if the situation's bad, it's not working for the player because, it's a two-way street. The team brings the player in, and of course, just like any businessman, the team is telling the player everything they want to hear when they are trying to secure them. Like, oh yeah, this is going to be totally collaborative. We're going to, kind of, you're much as part of this team as anyone, and we're going to discuss everything, especially with your franchise players. And I've heard where scenarios like that start off that way as far as when they're recruiting you, but once you get there, it's more of a, we kind of got this back office. You just play for us, keep butts in seats. And so when it's not what the promises were made verbally, then how much do we want the players to just stick it out because they should honor the commitment there, even though it was under false pretenses? So I kind of understand where Kyrie coming from that. You let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, this is a scenario where you can't fully put this on the player. But I do understand the teams as well. They're like, hey, this is the owners, this is our business. And you work for us. I can't go and tell the owner of, whatever bank, if I work in a bank or a grocery store, hey, this works best I think this has worked best. They're like, yeah, but you never owned a team. So I understand it from that standpoint as well. But let me know what you guys think. Be sure to leave a comment. Please hit that like and subscribe button and hit that notification bell. I'm gonna holler at you next time. Peace.